this reached you, your choice has already been recorded. Stop. Don't scroll.
You weren't guided here. You were monitored. The Arcturian Council has been tracking the shift in your field.
And the moment you landed on this timeline in America, the division began.
You're not being called. You're being separated. Stay. In the next moments, you'll understand why.
The separation has already begun. You are standing inside it. What you're feeling in America right now, the tension in the air, the acceleration of time, the heaviness in the collective field is not random. It is the opening wave of a planetary sorting, initiated the moment the Arcturians activated the next phase of Earth's timeline. This is not punishment. This is placement. Souls are being aligned with the frequency they have been choosing in silence for years. Look closely at your own experience these past months. The dreams that feel thicker, more vivid, almost instructional. The way your body registers pressure before your mind can name a moment. The constant hum beneath the noise of daily life, as if something is rearranging itself behind the scenes. Cities feel heavier. Conversations feel sharper. Every broadcast, every headline carries a strange charge. This is the collective field destabilizing so that the deeper layers of your timeline can be revealed. A nation has a frequency, just as a person does. And the American timeline is in a moment of fracture, two trajectories, two futures, two energetic outcomes running parallel and widening with every choice made inside the field. You can feel it, can't you? That split between contraction and awakening. That pull toward one of two paths, even if you can't explain it to anyone around you. This is the separation of soul paths, the quiet sorting that happens long before the physical world reflects it. When a field reaches this level of saturation, the Arcturians intervene not to rewrite destiny, but to clarify it. Because a destiny does not collapse suddenly. It crystallizes. It forms through repetition, through the stories you tell about who you are and what you believe you came here to do. And right now, those stories are becoming visible in the energetic architecture around you. Some souls are deepening into fear, into delay, into the familiar pull of an identity that keeps them small. Others are entering acceleration, shedding layers, feeling the undeniable pressure of a mission awakening. Both paths are valid, both paths are recorded, but they are not the same. You may have noticed the way time behaves differently lately, how some days stretch like a lifetime, while others vanish before you can ground yourself. That is the distortion caused by field-level rearrangement. You are being moved, subtly but unmistakably, toward the frequency that matches your inner choice. And the Arcturians are not observing this passively. They are guiding the national field toward a moment where alignment becomes unavoidable. If you've been sensing a shift inside you, a quiet knowing that the chaos around you is not collapse but recalibration, you are not imagining it. You are reading the timeline correctly. You are feeling the architecture of a new phase rising beneath your feet. And in a moment, you will understand the mechanism behind all of this. You will understand what destiny lock-in truly means and why it is unlike anything you have ever been taught about fate. Destiny lock-in is not a punishment. It is a frequency point. A moment when a soul has repeated the same inner choice so many times that the timeline stabilizes around it. Destiny lock-in does not happen when you make one mistake. Destiny lock-in happens when you keep telling the same story about who you are over and over until the field believes you. There are only two pathways a soul can crystallize into. The first is contraction, the path of safety, hesitation, postponing your own becoming. The path where the field narrows around you because you keep choosing the version of yourself that fears its own power. The second is activation, the path of alignment, truth, and consent. The path where your future self steps forward because you finally stopped arguing with your mission. Your choice is not recorded in words, it is recorded in frequency. 1. When you keep saying you're not ready, even though your field has been calling you for years. 2. When you keep abandoning your own truth the moment it asks you to rise. 3. When you keep choosing numbness over presence, silence over honesty, inertia over alignment. Each repetition is a vote. Each vote shapes a timeline. And the Arcturians do not read your intentions, they read your energetic consistency. This is why destiny lock-in feels both terrifying and relieving. Terrifying because it reveals that nothing has been random. Relieving because it confirms that no external force has been writing your fate. You have. Through frequency, through alignment, through the stories you allow to live inside your chest. A destiny is not imposed. A destiny is rehearsed. And when the field reaches its tipping point, the universe does not ask you again. It simply aligns you with the path you have already been walking in your inner world. This is not a freeze. This is a reflection, a record of the energy you have practiced so often that it has become the architecture of your timeline. You are not being sentenced. You are being placed. So understand this clearly. This is not a destiny falling onto you. This is the frequency you signed. Activation command. I am ready to see the path I already chose. Type this exactly. If your soul has been drifting toward path 1, you've already felt it in silence. Long before your mind named it, your field did. The sensation of tightening instead of expanding. The way your energy folds inward, as if preparing to disappear into itself. This path is not failure. It is simply the frequency of contraction, and the signs have been gathering around you. 1. You feel a pressure in your chest whenever you think about the future. Not inspiration, not anticipation, but a closing, a heat that rises and then collapses, as though your field is pulling back from the very timeline that's trying to reach you. This is not reluctance. This is retreat practiced. 2. Time has started moving strangely around you. Days rush forward, yet internally you feel still frozen, paused, unable to translate awareness into motion. The world accelerates, but you do not. This is not stagnation. This is contraction rehearsed. 3. Synchronicities appear and vanish, but you ignore them. The subtle signs, the nudges, the glimpses of alignment, they arrive, but you shrink from them. You choose the familiar over the true. You stay small because smallness feels safe. This is not disconnection. This is avoidance repeated. 4. The voice inside you keeps saying the same line. Not now. Not yet. I'm not ready. It interrupts you before possibility can form. It softens your power before it can sharpen. It convinces you that readiness is something you wait for instead of something you generate. This is not caution. This is fear rehearsed. 5. You feel a quiet grief you can't explain. A heaviness that doesn't come from loss, but from potential you keep postponing. A weight that forms whenever you ignore the parts of yourself asking to grow. This is not sadness. This is self-distancing repeated. 6. Every time energy rises inside you, an idea, a calling, a movement, you pull back, convincing yourself the moment is too big or too early. Your field rises, and then you lower it. This is not humility. This is suppression practiced. 7. You sense yourself looping, returning to old identities, old patterns, old sensations that you've outgrown but continue to inhabit because they feel familiar. This is not comfort. This is repetition rehearsed. Path 1 is not the path of the unworthy. It is the path of the souls choosing safety over expansion, predictability over awakening. It is chosen quietly, gently, through dozens of small hesitations that eventually sculpt a timeline. No shame, no punishment, only frequency. If you recognize yourself in these signs, understand this. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not late. You have simply been maintaining a field that cannot support the version of you your mission requires. Contraction is not a flaw, it is a choice. And every choice can be seen. Activation command. I see where I have been shrinking. Type this exactly. If you can no longer return to who you used to be, that is the first sign. A soul on path 2 does not collapse back into its old shape. Once activation begins, the past version of you becomes too small to inhabit. Your field has already expanded beyond it, and everything in your life is rearranging to match that expansion. 1. Your intuition has intensified. It does not speak louder, it speaks cleaner. Decisions arrive faster, but they carry a depth you didn't have access to before. You feel pulled, redirected, accelerated, as if something inside you already knows the trajectory. This is not impulsiveness. This is alignment awakened. 2. Relationships that no longer resonate begin dissolving on their own. Not through conflict, not through rejection, but through energetic mismatch. Your field rises, and anything that cannot breathe in that frequency naturally falls away. You're not pushing people out. Your mission is recalibrating your orbit. This is not loss. This is clearing. 3. You've started feeling a sacred pressure, a weight that doesn't suffocate but steadies you, a sense that something is expected of you, not from society, not from the world, but from your own future self. It settles in your chest like a vow you never consciously made but always carried. This is not anxiety. This is assignment emerging. 4. Synchronicities have become undeniable. Symbols of stars, Arcturians, light beings, repeating numbers, sudden messages, dreams that feel like transmissions, coincidences that line up too precisely to dismiss. They don't come to entertain you. They come to confirm your frequency. This is not fantasy. This is recognition. 5. You feel a forward movement that your mind cannot justify. As if life is gently but firmly pushing you out of cycles you stayed in for too long. Situations end abruptly. New paths open without explanation. Your choices feel less like thinking and more like remembering. This is not chaos. This is transition guided. 6. The old numbing mechanisms no longer work. The ways you used to silence your inner voice now fall flat. You can't disappear into distraction the way you once did. Your field refuses to dim. This is not restlessness. This is illumination. 7. You sense a new identity forming within you. Not an upgrade of your personality, but the emergence of the one who was always meant to lead your mission. A version of you that feels ancient, fierce, familiar. This is not imagination. This is embodiment. Understand this path. 2 is not easier. It is simply real. It strips away what is false, reveals what is unfinished, and demands that you meet yourself without distortion. Activation is not comfort. Activation is truth. Activation command. I accept the path my soul already chose. Type this exactly. The universe does not record what you declare loudly. It records what you repeat in silence. Every subtle reaction, every unconscious pattern, every micro-choice in your field becomes a vote for a timeline. Destiny is not shaped by intention. It is shaped by frequency. And there are 7 mechanisms through which your choices are being documented, moment by moment. 1. The way you respond to fear. Do you collapse, or do you remain present? The universe does not note the fear itself. It notes your posture inside it. Not avoidance, not panic, presence. 2. The way you treat your intuition. Do you hear it, acknowledge it, or dismiss it before it finishes speaking? The universe does not listen to your justifications. It reads your relationship with your own inner guidance. Not doubt, not debate. recognition. 3. The way you use time. Do you numb yourself to escape your timeline, or do you enter time to clarify your path? The universe does not count your hours. It observes the frequency you hold while moving through them. Not distraction, not delay, intention. 4. The way you meet endings. When something completes, do you cling, negotiate, resurrect, or release? The universe does not track what you lose. It witnesses how you honor what no longer aligns. Not grasping, not resisting, allowing. 5. The way you respond to expansion. When energy rises inside you, a spark, an idea, a calling. Do you shut it down or let it widen your field? The universe does not measure the size of your dream. It measures the courage you practice when it appears. Not minimization, not shrinking, opening. 6. The way you honor identity shifts. When a new version of you emerges, do you return to the familiar, or do you step toward the unknown? The universe does not care about the role you play. It reads the frequency of the self you choose to animate. Not repetition, not regression, becoming. 7. The way you navigate crossroads. At decisive moments, do you choose comfort or alignment, safety or truth? The universe does not judge the path. It records the pattern, and that pattern becomes the architecture of your timeline. Not chance, not chaos. Consistency. This is destiny lock-in, the accumulation of thousands of small, silent choices repeating the same frequency until the field stabilizes around it. Not a verdict, a reflection. Activation command. I ask to see where my choices are being recorded. Type this exactly. Imagine a gate of light opening in the center of a trembling landscape, not a city, not a place, but a collective field in upheaval. Everything around it shakes, bends, rearranges, yet the gate remains still, unmoving, waiting. This is the realignment window, a moment when destiny is recorded, yet not sealed, a moment when a soul can shift course faster than at any other point in its timeline. 1. A window opens when the field is disrupted, when collective energy enters a phase of deep shaking. Old structures dissolve and new trajectories become possible. Cracks appear in the frequency grid, and through those cracks, a soul can move differently. The universe is not rewarding chaos. The universe is revealing possibility. 2. During this window, small decisions carry amplified weight. A choice that would normally shift your path by inches can shift it by miles. The slightest act of presence, honesty, courage, or alignment creates disproportionate impact. Not because the action is big, but because the field is soft. Not force, not luck, leverage. 3. Once the window closes, the field stabilizes again. Energies settle, patterns re-solidify. Trajectories become harder to redirect because timelines tighten around the choices already made. This is not punishment. This is anchoring. And right now, the realignment window is wide open on the timeline moving through America, a collective cycle of transition, uncertainty, acceleration. But its effects are not contained by borders. When a field this large shifts, it ripples globally. Every soul feels the tremor. Every timeline becomes more malleable. What was heavy becomes movable. What was fixed becomes flexible. What was distant becomes reachable. This is why you may feel urgency rising inside you. Why decisions seem sharper. Why the past feels farther away than the calendar suggests. You are standing in front of a gate that will not remain open forever. A gate created not by destiny breaking, but by destiny breathing. The paradox is simple. Your patterns have already written the outline of your timeline. But in moments like this, the ink has not yet dried. You are being offered a correction window, a chance to choose consciously what you have been choosing unconsciously for years. Not pressure, not threat, opportunity. Because no one closes the gate in front of you, but no one holds it open forever. Activation command. I choose to use this window of correction. Type this exactly. Step 1 is acknowledgement. Not correction, not denial, not decoration, acknowledgement. Feel the frequency of the path you are currently on. Let it rise in your field without resistance. You do not need to defend it or escape it. You only need to witness it. Because a timeline cannot be shifted if it is not first seen. Mini activation. I acknowledge where I stand. Step 2 is invocation. Call your mission by its true name, not out loud, but through the inner corridor where your future self waits. Let that higher version of you lean forward in your field. Sense the intelligence, the clarity, the calm authority of who you are on the highest recorded timeline. Whisper to it in intention, not words. Mini activation. I call forward my future self. Step 3 is release. Every soul carries unconscious vows, silent agreements made during fear, contraction, or survival. These vows tether you to the older path. Feel them rise as tension, as hesitation, as self-protection. Then let your field exhale them. Allow the cords to loosen. Allow the timeline they belong to dissolve. This is not erasing the past. This is unbinding the present. Mini activation. I release what no longer claims me. Step 4 is declaration. A new choice must be spoken into the field with clarity. Not forced, not dramatized, simply chosen. Stand in the frequency you want to inhabit and name it the frequency of alignment, readiness, and mission. Let the declaration vibrate through your chest, your breath, your awareness, not a wish, a selection. Mini activation. I choose the higher path. Step 5 is anchoring. A timeline stabilizes only when energy becomes action, not a grand gesture, not a transformation overnight. One small movement that matches the frequency you just claimed. A message sent from clarity, a boundary honored without fear, a moment of stillness held on purpose. This is your anchor. This is how the shift becomes real. These 5 steps are not a ritual you perform once. They are a technology you return to whenever your field wavers. A remembering, a reorientation, a re-entry into the trajectory already written for your higher self. Because you are not begging to be chosen. You are accepting the frequency your soul selected long before you arrived here. Activation command. I align now with my highest recorded timeline. Type this exactly. From this moment forward, you are no longer the one waiting for a verdict. You are the one carrying the frequency. The split has already occurred. The lock-in has already been felt. And the window of correction is still open, but only for those whose fields recognize the call. If you felt yourself moving through these transmissions with a deep inner resonance, you are not approaching path 2. You are entering it. You were never late. You were never small. You were never accidental. You arrived exactly when your destiny required your presence. And now the real work begins. Because holding this frequency is not done in isolation. Not in a country whose collective field is shaking, accelerating, polarizing. Not amid waves of noise, attempts to distort perception, and energetic surges that hit without warning. The United States is currently a point of compression on the global timeline, a place where trajectories collide and reorganize. When a field shakes this intensely, a soul on path 2 needs shelter, not withdrawal, but stabilization. Without it, the acceleration becomes burnout, the clarity becomes overwhelm, the activation becomes diffusion. A shielded energetic space is not a luxury, it's a requirement for those who have crossed the threshold. This is why the member circle exists, not as another stream of content, not as a classroom, As a field, a shared frequency that reinforces your alignment, protects your timeline, and gives you a place to return to when the world around you is moving too fast for your nervous system to integrate. Inside that space, activations arrive first, timelines become clearer, guidance becomes stronger, and the shifts you felt today begin to anchor instead of scatter. Think of it not as joining something, but stepping into resonance with others who have already chosen the higher trajectory. A circle where your mission is not questioned, your sensitivity is not misunderstood, and your acceleration is not judged. A circle designed to hold the exact frequency you are rising into. And you will know instantly if this space is meant for you. Souls on path 2 always do. There is no push, no pressure, no persuasion, only recognition. So take a breath. Feel the weight of what you've crossed. Feel the steadiness forming beneath you. You are not the seeker anymore. You are the carrier. And this next step is simply the continuation of what has already begun inside your field. Activation command. I step fully into the circle of my chosen path. Type this exactly.